and I proudly stand up
I want to
next
just
to
go
him.
through. I want to have an episode where we go through my Instagram feed and just talk shit about everybody and what they're posting.
Let's do that.
I
Let's
should do
let's
that,
switch
right?
what we're doing and do that right now.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 of the posts are going to be ads.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or
Yeah, I would.
capybaras.
Yeah, I would absolutely do one where I just go through my Facebook feed and just read the ridiculous shit that's posted. The thing about my Facebook feed is it's very new, so I haven't um,
Oh,
what's the word
I'm
I'm looking
entrenched.
for?
Yeah.
Like,
You're not entrenched into Instagram. Like
no, I'm not.
it's not,
I
they don't
haven't
have that.
told it what I like. So it
Yeah.
just thinks it's just a blank slate, and it's just like you're an average American person. This is what we know about you. So the stuff they're showing us, I'm like, fuck, is this like what they think the average American
Uh-huh. Chime ads.
middle-aged white male wants?
Mhm.
Because this is
Mhm.
disgusting.
Mine, I'm going through it. It's a Chime ad. It's a
It's a
Cafe
lot.
Bustelo ad
Oh yeah,
because I love that coffee, though. To be fair, it's a good coffee brand.
mine is mostly like evangelical bullshit and racist stuff.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it. That's
You picked
really
up your
it,
last name, and it's like, I know what you want to see.
dude. I guess.
And then it's Confederate flags.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Or
Mine's
just
Cafe
making fun
Bustelo.
of people, their physical appearance, making fun of women.
Oh,
It's
hey, speaking of making
disgusting.
fun of people, though,
Okay.
well, yes, for the most part, but some people got it coming, like
Mm-hmm.
Justin Timberlake and his DUI picture. He just got a
I saw,
DUI. Have you seen?
oh,
You
did
hear
they?
about the news of that?
I saw a picture, but I wasn't sure if it was
The mugshot.
the mugshot. But it looked like he had like a ring light in his eye. Like they
It
set up like
does.
professional
Yeah,
lighting for him. Like
yeah,
he was like, "Wait a minute, let me get my lighting guy in here. You got to
yeah.
get the good side of my face
Part
or
of the
something."
entourage is the lighting dude.
That's right.
And so
That's right.
they showed up to the police station. What the meme is on this one, it says, "What the CGC 9.9 slab sees when I notice color rubs on both sides," and it's Justin Timberlake with his red ass eyes and like puppy swollen eyes. I'm crying.
That's funny.
That's CGC for
Holy
ya.
shit. Justin Timberlake, man, get it together, dude.
Fuck you, Justin Timberlake.
You're gonna blow it.
Should have been run over by a recall on his car like that other guy from Star Trek. Oh,
Damn it.
yeah.
Was that did that have something to do with a recall?
It had everything to do with a recall. They had recalled
I
that
didn't know.
Cherokee.
I never knew
Yeah. It
that.
was a Grand
Really?
Cherokee.
Did
Uh,
someone get sued?
yeah. Well, yeah.
No.
But the
Okay.
thing
Yeah.
is that Jeep's
Fuck.
constantly getting sued. They've got a class action or 5 class action lawsuits at any given time since the 1940s.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that Anton Yelvik, whatever his name
Yeah.
was.
Yeltsin or
Yeltsin,
something.
yeah, that the situation where the
God
car's brake
damn.
failed and
Mm-hmm.
rolled the car and pinned
Yeah.
him into against his garage was a recalled error. It was a recalled issue,
Shit.
and
Well,
that he just didn't take it in for the recall and died. What
man,
the
Jeeps are
fuck?
Jeeps are starting to get a real bad reputation for me
Oh,
lately.
fuck that, man. I hate
They're one
mine.
of those cars that if I see it on the road, I'm like, "Ugh."
It's all plastic on the inside, dude. Mine's right now collecting dust in the driveway.
Yeah, like the
I got
person that's fucking driving it
new
also.
engine. Yeah.
Just like an action figure, plastic
It's
person.
like mine's a collectible right now. It's collecting fucking dust, but it's a collectible.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
moving.
different. That's different. Yeah,
9.9.
I'm talking about within like the last few years or something.
Yeah,
I feel like it's taken a turn.
and not the right turn.
No,
No,
It's
these
these
are polo.
assholes. It's these assholes who think that they're like rugged adventurers.
The khaki polo tiki torch people.
Totally. Subaru is having that big problem right now as well.
Hey, that car will save your life though.
I bet. I bet. But people that buy them, they just they have this. I think they just have this like fun idea about themselves as like some kind of like super equipped adventurer. That's just
Like
waiting
Tesla
for a
guys.
chance. That's just waiting for a chance to like tow someone out of a ditch with their winch.
Yeah,
Like bullshit.
yeah. It's like these Tesla dudes. Little do they know,
Uh,
Jeeps can't tow shit. Like they
I,
have enough tow capacity just to be able to carry their own weight and that's
Mhm.
it. If you
Also,
tow somebody out, you're getting stuck too.
every time they show them in a car commercial or something, they're like driving on the coolest fucking landscapes over dunes, and it's like
Mhm.
that's not what you're gonna do with your vehicle. You're gonna
No.
sit at bumper to bumper traffic between every red light, creeping through your dumbass town to go to work and back. You fucking
At 12
asshole!
miles per gallon.
Come on.
At 12 miles per gallon, yeah.
Ugh. You're not gonna be out there adventuring.
That's to be honest, though, you're
You don't live
absolutely
a
right.
commercial. That's TV. That's
Yeah,
fake.
you're absolutely right, though, because that's why I had bought the Jeep. I had a good cushy corporate job, and I wanted, like, some excitement in my life, so I figured, "I'm gonna go off-road," and no, it became my daily driver because I couldn't afford
they
the
they have very effective commercials. Very
yeah,
effective. You know,
but
it looks
very
super fun to do what they're doing in those commercials.
yeah,
But you'll never do that,
no, not if you value your vehicle and it's the only one that you've got.
right?
No.
Whatever. Anyway, what comics? Is that what we're talking about?
That's,
Comics? Oh, do
speaking of money,
you know what we missed? A week or two, a month ago or so. But I picked it up and read more of it. Is fucking Uncanny Valley.
oh, yeah, Uncanny Valley, I remember that.
I
Issue
read
2 came
issue
out.
2. Yeah, issue 3 came out.
Oh, issue oh, shit, I'm way behind. How
I
was that?
think I could have sworn in the solicits I saw issue 3, but then I couldn't find it. But I did find issue 2, and I read that one. It's awesome.
Oh, it gets because first issue kinda dragged.
First issue was fun though, but
I don't know.
I liked the first one a lot, and the second one was a lot of fun too. It keeps up the pace. Keeps up the pace pretty well. The first issue,
Yeah.
and they keep adding new cartoon gags, and
Oh, that's cool. I'll give it a
yeah,
shot. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have given Animal Pound a shot, and I'm already gonna I
man,
mean, I've got that on my subscriptions.
I feel like Boom Studios is like my favorite publisher right now in a
Yeah,
way.
I could see that. That's
They've got
yeah,
so many good titles going on right now. They're one of my favorite, easily.
yeah, same here. Um, Image is also knocking it out of the park with some of their stuff.
They're doing a great job as well. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not talking about that 299 Spawn, even though that price point is amazing,
yeah,
2024.
that's
And
good.
no word on ever changing it either. I think the
Hmm,
plan is that McFarlane doesn't want to.
hmm. He doesn't need more money.
Doesn't need more money. No, not with that
Mm,
new Marvel deal that he's got. Did you hear about the toy line?
n- no, he's doing McFarlane Toys is doing Marvel now.
They just got the contract for Marvel toys. They're doing I don't remember
Well,
exactly what the plan is to start rolling out, but it's not those full-sized legend figures yet. They're doing something in particular first and then easing on to
hmm,
everything else. But McFarlane
cool.
Toys is
Well,
taking
with
over the toy world.
yeah, with how good of a job they did with DC,
Oh, those yeah,
like
those action figures are awesome.
of course, Marvel's gonna follow that because Marvel follows everything DC does.
Since the beginning,
But
since day one.
yeah, they follow all their moves. No, I'm not saying that sometimes they don't do it better. 'Cause
Yeah.
they do, but they
Yeah.
follow in suit.
I would argue they're not doing this whole multiverse thing better though.
Oh yeah,
Every
yeah.
one of the Marvel titles has something multiverse tied into it.
Hmm. It's confusing.
Yeah, it's confusing, and they try to organize it with, identifying numbers and stuff like Earth 616 and
Dude, I'm
blah, blah,
sorry. I
blah.
keep choking to death.
That's nothing.
Mm,
The Earth 616, but DC has it, you know, very well organized with just 52 realities.
yeah.
And then that whole Grant Morrison map that he did was really cool. The map of the multiverse.
Well, I never saw that.
It's on, a comic called Multiversity.
Multiversity. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I
Grant
remember
Morrison
that.
stuff.
I'll have to dust that off and take a look at it again.
The return of Captain Carrot.
What? Really?
Yeah, is in Multiversity. Yep.
That's fun. I forgot about that.
Yeah. You know what I'm giving DC and Grant Morrison, I was just reading Superman and the Authority. That miniseries is really good.
Oh, yeah. I've never read The Authority at all.
Oh, the Authority is awesome.
Hmm.
This isn't that a version of the Authority, it's another version that Superman puts
Oh,
together.
because I was gonna say that's a real weird mashup. Like,
Yeah.
I
but no,
know
it's
of the
not.
Authority. Yeah.
Like some of those characters, like Midnighter and Apollo, are there, and they were part of the original Authority, part of the original Stormwatch. But this version of Superman's putting a team together of Authority-like characters with Apollo
Mhm.
and Midnighter. That's really cool.
Hey,
I liked it. It's really nice.
yeah. I just read that um God damn it, what's the fucking company doing Transformers and GI Joe right now?
Paramount or Hasbro?
Hasbro, yeah, what's their comic imprint? Uh
Skybound,
Skybound.
the Energon Universe stuff.
Skybound is putting out Transformers Compendium. So
Oh
it's like
no shit!
the entire original Marvel series in 2 volumes. It's supposed to be
Wow, I
coming
thought.
out. Both are coming out in 25.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought IDW does that because they're doing that with other licenses from Marvel.
I'm not sure,
It could. Yeah, I think you're right though about Skybound.
but Skybound did the same thing with GI Joe as well
Yeah,
at Marvel recently, or but it's both been announced. Nothing's been released though. But
yeah,
now
but
Transformers is announced as well.
to this day, I still see
Well, I
that
don't know.
one panel
IDW
from.
shares. IDW shares. You know, they could share the rights, and it could
Oh,
be.
shit.
I'm not sure.
There's like
Share.
contracting
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably pretty messy, actually. Well, with Hasbro, Marvel,
yeah.
IDW being in there,
There's
I bet it
some
gets.
legal maneuvering.
Yeah, I bet it gets kind of messy. I bet people have to share in order for that to happen.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Donald Duck.
what are
Oh
we
wait, no.
doing here anyway?
Scrooge
Oh, we're
McDuck.
talking comics. I guess I'll bring in the show proper, right?
Right.
How do I do that again? It's been so long, man.
You say
Actually.
this is Frank Walker
Uh-huh.
Wonder Hour. Oh.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
No, that's not. This is Keeping Up with Comics. I'm Ozzy, and with me, as always, is Henry from Black Market Comics.
Howdy.
And we try to keep up with what's new on the shelves at the comic shop. That's basically the gist of it. I mean, we
Make an
we attempt,
attempt.
we make an attempt. Sometimes we fail. Um, we try to each pick a comic, and then we each read both comics and then review them. Um, but this time we just have one to go through. But I think it's a pretty juicy one,
Oh yeah.
actually. So
It's
we'll
two
have
comics in one, to be
it
fair though.
is 2 comics in one. Yeah, so that works out. So we'll have plenty to talk about with um, Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime that just came out yesterday, published by Marvel. And yeah,
Marvel,
we'll
you
be taking a look
bastards.
at that. We'll take a look at that. I'll get it up here
Yeah.
on the screen.
Were you a McDuck fan going into this?
McDuck. Absolutely. I've always been a Donald Duck fan. He's probably my favorite like Disney cartoon character
Uh
because yeah, his temper is funny to me,
huh. Hmm.
when he always gets so mad and he can't catch a break. I don't know. I feel that. I feel that more than I ever anything else.
Uh huh.
you,
And
I can
Scrooge
relate.
uses that.
I can relate to Donald more than I can any of the other characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I've always loved that, and of course, I was a kid during the Disney animation revolution,
The
uh,
Renaissance.
the Renaissance in the late '80s, early '90s. So I was a huge Ducktales fan, of course, and I still am. I love that show. It
Yeah.
holds up.
We're gonna get to it in Frank Welker, and I can't wait to
Oh, I
do that.
know.
But
Yeah,
I watched that show every day because it was on at like 3:30, and I got home right on time.
that has something to do with it. I think it was on at the right time. I
Hmm.
was never, even as a kid, I was never an early riser. I
Yeah.
was always a night owl. I always liked sleeping in late, like always. So if it was Saturday morning cartoons that started at 7 a.m., I never saw any of them. I was not up.
Yeah. I didn't either, but after school was
So
perfect, and that's how I was
mhm.
watching Batman 69 too.
They were where were they airing those?
It was right before DuckTales, so I would catch, like, the midway
Oh,
point for of that Batman episode and then
on like
watch DuckTales
ABC
after.
or on like ABC or something? Or,
Yeah, wherever they were showing.
yeah, where did they show? Fox or ABC?
I think it was ABC.
Probably.
Yeah. We'll find out on Walker,
Yeah, that's true. That's
Walker
true.
podcast that we do.
And Uncle Scrooge, yeah, I like the Duck universe. I like the Beagles. I like Uncle Scrooge.
Duckburg,
Duckburg for sure.
Magica
Launchpad
de
McQuack.
Spell,
Yeah,
Launchpad McQuack, Gyro
Gyra. Yep,
Gearsworth. Yeah.
yep, yep.
Who is his daughter? And she was on Darkwing?
Oh,
'Cause there was that
um,
Duck Universe thing, they were all connected, and, like,
w-
Launchpad.
yeah. So yeah, Launchpad was also Darkwing Duck's pilot,
Yeah,
and that was um, fuck. What was his niece's name? It was uh,
Quackers. I don't know.
man, I'm blanking right now.
Yeah. Ow.
Goslin.
Goslin, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if they ever said how they were related. I don't know if they ever said how any of these people were related.
I
They
know I
never
have to
they
rewatch
never
Darkwing.
really make them sons or daughters because they don't want you to get the idea in your head that Donald Duck fucked.
Wow, so they were always uncles.
So they're all his uncles, because then you wouldn't necessarily think like you wouldn't maybe make the connection that like, wait a minute, Donald Duck fucked.
Until Goofy comes around, and then there's Goof Troop.
Oh,
That's
Goofy.
definitely Goofy's son.
Goofy fucks. Are you kidding
Mhm.
me? Goofy fucks, and he fucks without protection, and he has all kinds of kids because he can't control it. He's an idiot.
He's like the Wilt Chamberlain of
Yeah,
Disney
that's right.
characters.
Oh
Soon to be
god damn it.
in the public domain too.
I can't do a
My
Goofy.
Goofy's my favorite. Goofy and those 1940s,
Oh,
1930s
there's
cartoons.
like where he demonstrates how to use a home gym
A
and,
home gym, yeah, he's
and
working, and he's smoking
driving.
and drinking
Yeah,
coffee.
driving to work
Driving to
and
work,
getting
yeah.
stuck in traffic. What are those? Those ones are great. All of those.
Yeah, yeah, the home
Uh-huh.
gym's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm very invested in duck stuff for sure.
Mhm,
Oh, and I've read some of the old classic Donald Duck and Scrooge comics as well, and they're always fun. By Gold Key and
Dell,
Gold Key Dell 4-color comic,
Gladstone.
hmm and that stuff is great. And the I mean the impact that Scrooge had on comics in general is wild.
Yeah,
I think it's something that a lot of people take for granted, or maybe even don't even really know about. You know,
mhm. Yeah, we've had this conversation, I had no idea. You had brought up, what you had brought up about, like, the depths of
Oh,
Scrooge McDuck's origin in comics,
and how
and,
important,
no
yeah, how
idea.
intrinsic he is to comics.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
go. I mean, it's always fun to go back, like, and check out that Carl Barks, Donald Duck or Scrooge stuff.
and
He,
Jason
he
Aaron seems to push
Carl
for that
Barks,
too.
Uncle Scrooge was created in comic books. Like that was his first appearance, was in a
Mhm.
comic book, and Carl Barks is responsible for creating him. I think.
Yes.
I'm
No, he
pretty
was.
sure. Yeah, he
It's in
was
the
introduced.
intro on this book.
Hmm.
Jason Aaron talks about the Carl Barks introduction to Scrooge McDuck, and
Yeah, there is a pretty neat intro here. How about these covers though?
oh, you wanna go one at a time?
How about
Let's do this one at a time.
one at a time?
Let's do this
Okay, fine.
one at a time.
They're
All
all
right.
great except for one.
Except for one.
there's one. There's one that's not great at all.
Yeah, yep. This one, the A cover was
Yeah,
Alex Ross.
really.
Did you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't because I'm not used to him rendering cartoons, you know what I mean? He
Oh,
usually renders like comics, but then renders them in the most realistic human looking way possible.
yeah.
But I'm not as used to him doing cartoons, so no, I didn't pick up on that exactly, and I didn't see his name anywhere. I didn't
Let
read
me see. I'm
anywhere,
gonna I'm gonna
but that's
bring it up
cool.
officially so that we can
You're
track
right
it.
though. It does look very much like the painter of light. Oh wait, no, that's not him. That's Thomas Kincaid.
Yeah. No, yeah. Alex Ross is the A cover.
Alex Ross should be the comic painter of light.
Yeah. If I don't know if do you want me to share my screen? I've got the names and the variants on all of these.
Really?
Yeah, there
Do
was
you see
13 covers in total.
do you see mine right now? I could
Oh,
flip
yeah,
through.
okay. Well, that's not all 13 though. The book
It's
only
not.
had no,
Oh,
it's
okay.
not all
Sure.
13.
Let's see them then.
Okay. Present, share screen, and let's do there we go.
See
All
'em.
right.
Okay.
So the A
Okay.
cover is
Yep.
Alex Ross, right? This is Cover Price. I use Cover Price for everything. Shout out to Cover Price. Give us a sponsor. First appearance of Scrooge above all, and it's the first Marvel style Disney adventure. And I think what they mean by Marvel style is this whole multiverse thing we'll get into later.
How do you feel, Henry, about them calling a first appearance just because they create a new character?
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
that
first appearance, like the emphasis on first appearance should only relate to something that has been before and already gained popularity. You know what I mean? Kinda. What do you think?
yes.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's no season there's no issue 2 solicited. This was a one-shot story. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end,
Mhm.
and a reprint at the end of it too.
Mhm.
So I see if it's like a reoccurring character, then yeah, I see a reason why to call that out. But otherwise, like it's a selling point, and I've been guilty of
It's a
using this
selling
as a
point.
selling point as well.
Yeah.
To move a book, but I don't think it's that important from like a reader's standpoint. Keep in mind
Yeah,
I'm
I
steeped
unless
in the collector's market.
I guess unless like you said, like if it's an ongoing character and it's kind of new, as a reader, I might like to at least know. I mean, I want to know when that character was introduced in case I want the full story or want to read it
Hmm.
all,
Right.
right? But as far
And
as like, I don't know. I feel like they put it here just for to try to upsell it or something.
yeah, yeah.
A
So.
it's a character's first appearance. Upsell, you know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a sneaky trick sometimes.
Yeah. All right,
But
covers.
anyway.
We got the Alex Ross A cover. The B cover was done by a really popular artist at Marvel right now, Elizabeth Torque. I love her work. She did some Ultimate Spider-Man covers that were fantastic.
Hmm.
This is probably the next one here. The C cover is like the most commented on. It's the Frank Miller. Man, this thing is just horrible.
My
What is this
child
on
could
his
have
butt?
done this.
Yeah,
Dude, that's a good question. I think it's his tail feathers, and then there's like some weird blob coming off the back. I guess that's like his coattails
his
or
coattail,
something.
but it doesn't match up. It doesn't line up perfectly with the
Dude,
anything. 'Cause
is was this
look at this
fucking?
Romita,
That's great.
and then this,
Um, was and then look back at this,
and then look back at this.
and then look back at this one. Oh, it's
Yeah.
even better. It's almost like this was done partially with AI or something. Like
Have you seen those
it's that kind of mess, you know.
artists are being called out for that, like, almost violently now on social media. They'll
Dude,
critique each other, and it's
artist and everybody else is being
yeah.
called out for everybody's being called out for that right now.
It's like, yeah, they get the AI assist, and
Mhm.
it's cheating,
Kinda. Yep.
isn't yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it might be. Then Gabriel Del Otto, this is the 1 in 10 variant, typical Del Otto. He's going to be using, like, a black paper and
I
then
like it.
color in the whites
Looks
like,
cool.
Batman the Animated Series did.
Mhm.
And you see that here, and I think that gives a lot of depth to his work, where that Frank Miller is just flat, like
It's
somebody like he doodled it on a
every single other one of these covers is like deep and dynamic, and you see like motion happening, and every other one except Frank Miller's bullshit.
Yeah, Frank Miller's bullshit. Did they even got J.
Horrible.
Scott Campbell to do a 1 in 50 variant, and this is the J. Scott Campbell. Let's see if I can expand on this here.
Yeah, I like it. Standing at the door of his vault or something.
Very neat lines,
Mhm.
lot of detail in the background, storybook cover.
Mhm. I like how it's
Um,
kind of like all designed in like ovals, you know?
yeah,
His
it
posture
is.
is like sort of in the
Yeah,
oval, it's very good shape.
door.
And
Mhm.
especially when I'm looking at it right next to that fucking Frank Miller cover, it looks even better.
The Frank Miller. Look at this trash. I'm sorry,
I
he's a legend, and, he's got more talent probably in his pinky than I do in my entire body, but,
you know,
like, maybe his medications are too high or something, like, somebody check on him, make sure he's okay.
maybe yeah, maybe he's like losing feeling in his fingers or something like that.
Yeah, 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 you do get arthritis and that happens, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't look too good in person, by the way, like, every year that goes by.
he looks like Skeletor.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Here's John Romita Jr., another
great,
legend, very
wonderful.
neat. Yep.
Yeah, superhero pose,
Lorenzo
kind of.
yeah, the superhero pose. Pastro Italian dude, obviously, Pastro
Yep.
something.
I like that cover,
Uh,
but I think that covers kind of a spoiler.
yeah, there's, Scrooge Above All, and
I
then
did.
Scrooge Above All is just a well, we'll talk about it
Yeah.
during the comment, during the yeah, when we get
But
to it. Peach Momoko.
I did not know that that was going to be a character, and I enjoyed not knowing,
Yeah.
until I actually got to it, and I was like, "Whoa, cool! That's what they're doing."
Yeah, he's introduced in Shadow too, so, it's a secret.
Yeah.
The Peach Momoko here looks like, a Christmas Carol a Christmas Carol almost,
Mm,
and she's like, "Oh, okay, let me see, Scrooge McDuck? Yeah, he was in, a couple of Disney stuff, let's look," and it was a Christmas Carol, and this is how it came out.
I love Scrooge in the Christmas Carol. I used to watch that shit all the time. I've got that
Ah, there you
cartoon
go.
fucking memorized. I'd watch it all year round. It wasn't one of those things where I'd break out the Christmas tapes and watch it during the holidays. Like I
Yeah.
watched it all the time. I love that
So,
Scrooge Christmas Carol. It's great.
yeah, let's go maybe we're spending too much time
So
on Disney.
therefore, when I first opened the book and saw that it was immediately in like a Christmassy winter setting, I was
Yeah.
like, "Ah, this feels right." I felt like
Yeah, I
comfort.
thought
I felt like
I was put off. I was like,
somehow I
"Damn,
felt
Marvel,
like
you couldn't wait?"
comforted. Yeah.
I
Also, it's
wanna
been so goddamn hot around here recently that just
Yeah.
looking at a drawing of snow like kind of cooled me off a couple degrees, I think, and I appreciate that. It's just
Thanks, Aaron.
thinking about the
It's chasing me.
the cold.
The rest of these are Ron Lim, Pepe Larraz, Scotty Young, Steve McNiven, and Walter
Oh,
Simonson.
there's a Virgin Scotty Young also.
The Virgin Scotty Young that was a web store exclusive, probably for
That
like a Virgin Superstore or something.
that um that's a great Scotty Young cover. I like it, but it doesn't necessarily look like a Scotty Young cover. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, it doesn't. It's
What
got the
what is it about this?
he did this book called Twig with what's his name? Durante, I think. And it's in this style. It's not that little kid Scotty design that he does for every Marvel book.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. And instead it's
That's
a
cool.
different
Yeah.
aesthetic. And I like it. Yeah.
It looks great, but if you had showed me that, like, it's not one of those like, oh, that's a Scotty Young cover.
No, yeah, no. It doesn't call Scotty Young out. And that's because
Yeah.
Marvel keeps on trying to cash in on those Scotty Young baby character covers.
Hmm. Yeah,
And there's a lot of cash grab in this book
there is.
from
Yeah,
Marvel.
a lot of these covers seem like they're not necessarily. They don't necessarily have anything to do with the interior of the comic, but more like they're paying homage to Scrooge as a comic character and all the different kinds of like
I have
adventures
a
he's been on.
I have a theory about that.
Okay.
I say that Jason Aaron didn't have it done when they were soliciting these artists or hiring these artists to do these covers. So I think like you don't tell J. Scott
Really?
Campbell, you don't tell Ron Lim, and you don't tell Walter Simonson like, "Hey, here's a book. Give me, here's the pitch for a book. I need a cover for it, and you got 2 days." You know,
Hmm.
they're gonna tell him it way in advance, and they're gonna get a lot more. I mean, these are legends, so they're gonna
Hmm.
get a lot more time. I mean, probably even especially the Frank Miller, they're gonna get a lot more time than somebody like Elizabeth Tork gets
Hmm.
or Pepe Larraz, even though that's a 1 in 100. Um, So I don't know if they had story elements that they knew, or maybe they just said like, "This is the Scrooge McDuck that I'm designing, and you're gonna take it because I'm John Romita Jr. and I can get a comic out on time."
I see.
That is a good John Romita, though. Is a very good John Romita.
Well,
That's my theory,
let's
and I'm sticking to it.
get into this then. Let's see what do I
Stop
need here.
sharing.
Oops.
So the story, written by Jason Aaron, with interior art by who did the interior art?
Yeah,
Jason
sure.
Aaron. Oh, there's several interior artists because there are different chapters in the book. So Gaida Pershinoto and Luca,
Wow.
I nailed it by the way.
Um, they flowed together pretty well. I didn't even really notice a style change. I don't think going through it. Did you? Yeah, that's cool. There are two
Yeah,
stories.
each
I
has
mean, but one's a
where they have
reprint.
all the credits. They'll tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the reprint is Carl Barks is written and drawn. I mean, yeah, written and drawn by Carl Barks. So one credit. Um,
right.
this one had a lot of hands in that.
Okay, here we go. Oop.
There we go. So we get a nice little preview of some of the covers, not all of them.
Yeah,
That's
but
the A cover.
I like that they
And
included them. You know.
yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah.
The J. Scott Campbell 1 in 50 variant.
When I started flipping, I was like, "Oh, cool! They would have some covers in here. That's fun."
Oh, there's that Frank Miller, Delato, McNiven. That's a Ron Lim,
This one's great
Pepe
with all the
Larraz. Yeah.
different. Who did this one?
That's
Where it's like
Pepe
built on
Larraz.
a circle.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, with all the different variations of Scrooge
And I've probably seen that before in something else. Maybe it was a DC or something, but
on kind of
it's
like a
not all
clock. It
original.
sort of reminds me of a clock, also. Which makes me think of time. I think it's a great cover.
Oh, that's probably what it is. I think I've seen like a Doctor Who cover with all the different doctors in this
Oh,
type of
it
motif,
feels like
probably.
something like a Doctor Who thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are pretty wonderful though.
Yeah. There's Scotty Young and
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell. If I strip away that background and
yeah,
on the Scotty Young cover and make it all
yeah,
white, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's a Scotty."
yeah.
You
And
know.
then there's the Elizabeth Tork on the right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, and then there's the title page and, like, the introduction by Jason Aaron, who wrote this book.
Yeah, and he mostly talks about like how he didn't necessarily grow up reading these, but when he had a child, he started reading them with his son and became instantly enamored with the character.
Yeah, yeah,
Which I think could still happen today. To a new reader coming on to old Scrooge stuff. Um, and not that I've read too much of it. I would really like to read a lot more. I want to pick up one of these compendiums, even.
mhm. Yeah, I'm sure you
Uh,
can find one easy because there's been a
yeah,
lot
and
of them.
and what Jason Aaron's leaning on is that Scrooge is the ultimate adventurer, basically.
Mhm.
Like not just in comics, but like in all of
Fiction.
fiction, basically. Which maybe he has a point, man.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a bit of a
Oh, he's
point.
definitely got a point.
Yeah.
After what you and I had talked about yesterday and other
Hmm.
people in other forms of media appreciating Scrooge McDuck, it really does make sense.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, like the inspiration for Raiders of the Lost Ark and the opening scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Indy's, you know, stealing the treasure and running from the big round boulder. Like that's all from a classic Carl Barks Scrooge comic.
Yeah, I looked that up. It's awesome. It's not shot
It
for shot, but
no, no, but like the ideas,
mhm,
for sure, it's
yeah,
pretty cool.
definitely. Yeah. So this book is separated into different chapters, and you saw on that title page all the different artists that were listing. It's
Yep.
all written by Jason Aaron, though. Who Jason Aaron, if you're not familiar, is been working for Marvel for a couple of decades now. Probably the most he's recognized for is creating Gore and the female Thor when they turned
Oh,
Jane Austen, or what was her name? Not Jane Austen.
Jane
Whatever her name
Austen.
is. Whatever her name is, into Thor. That was all Jason Aaron. He's done a run on Avengers where they all go back in time to 1,000,000 BC.
Oh,
Uh, he's on, I mean, it's too numerous to mention, but Jason Aaron is one of these modern legends,
yeah.
uh, who's, gonna be um, big. He's been big on, multiverse stuff too, and that's one of the things that I wanna talk about with this story is that what they
He's
mean by
he
Marvel's
yeah,
what?
he also is responsible for like really pulling a couple characters out of the slumps, you know.
Yeah, like Jane Foster.
Well, yeah,
Like Jane
okay, sure.
Foster made her Thor.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Um, but,
Even bigger characters, you know.
the Marvel style or the classic Marvel adventure now is a multiverse adventure because that's where the movies are going.
Mhm.
Um, and you can tell here, and it kind of felt like a cash grab to me. I wasn't too impressed by the story. I felt it was really generic, and I'm not really a fan of Jason Aaron stuff. So just going in,
No,
be aware of that.
yeah, I'm not too big of a fan either, but that might have a lot to do with the fact that I just really haven't read that much of his stuff. I don't have a fair I can't make a fair assessment, honestly, because I haven't read it.
Mm. At this point, for me, it's all seems kind of like generic, modern Marvel style.
Hmm. Yeah.
Pushing. I mean, the last since before COVID, Marvel has been pushing for this multiverse saga. They even named
Mhm.
it very early. They've been dealing with quote unquote variants in all of their properties in the MCU. There's TV and movies, and they're using comics to reinforce all of that and just to support the books. And I think that's a lot of people's critiques, besides
Mhm.
the misogyny and those racists who don't like change. One of
Mhm.
my, like an I would say like a real educated person will
Yeah.
understand that it's all just a cash grab and that the comics now are supporting the movie initiatives or the TV initiatives.
Is a
And it's
cash
very
grab
visible.
is a
It's
cash
very
grab very appropriate for an Uncle Scrooge comic?
absolutely not. It's not appropriate.
He's a cash grabbing kind of guy, kind of
He is
duck.
a cash grabbing kind of guy. But
This
in
is
an
the kind of
adventurous
comic
way,
Uncle Scrooge would write.
he doesn't I
Yes.
mean, he seems like a capitalist, but not like an evil capitalist.
Well, it's not that he's like fucking yeah, I don't think you see him too often like fucking
Building dick-shaped
making
rocket ships.
making money out of fracking or something. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You don't
yeah.
really see that too much. But there are plenty of instances where he underpays any employee. He doesn't want to pay anybody a fair wage. Nobody.
Oh, yeah. That
You
gets
know,
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
he has way more than anyone could ever need or spend, and it's just sitting there
He
doing
swims in it.
nothing. While I'm sure there's some kind of like slum of Duckburg somewhere that could probably use some help. Just
Mhm.
saying. Just
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah. He's actually not too far removed from um Ultimate Scrooge, or what do they call him?
Scrooge above all.
Yeah.
And that's a Marvel thing too because there's a one above all who is like the god of everything in Marvel,
Hmm.
and so that's a take on
Yeah,
this.
it felt like a Kang thing or something like that.
It's a grab on the Council of Reeds that was written by Jonathan Hickman.
Hmm.
It's a grab on the one above all that was written by Straczynski, I think J. Michael Straczynski. And it's a grab on Disney's Overlord Disney telling them, hey, you know what, like all this multiverse stuff, we need regular people to understand what a multiverse is. So you're gonna support that in the comics or else.
It's a Bob Iger also.
It's a Bob Iger, yeah. It's a Bob Iger. Give me
Great.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige.
Another super villain in
Hmm.
our real world.
Yeah. So you know, like I said, there's nothing original in this.
No, there's not, but I never really expected anything, especially with the title and the cover being the Infinity.
Infinity Dime,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, okay, they're gonna homage. This is gonna be full of like homages and references and stuff. It's kind of what I was expecting, so it didn't hit
References, yeah,
me.
but I don't feel like there was any
Yeah,
respect on it to be an homage.
yeah.
It seems like this was phoned in, to be honest.
Hmm. I liked it a little more than that. Than it sounds like you did.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah.
Maybe it's just because of I think that I like the pacing a lot, except for there's a moment in the middle where it
Mm.
feels like I swear there were pages missing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Between him, wait,
It's this next one. After the Beagle Boys are trying to do what they're gonna do, they meet the Scrooge above all, and then
uh-huh.
this next page.
Let's see. Oh no,
Uh,
see, he goes to gyros.
yeah.
Okay, this is all normal. Hang on, he goes to gyros, and then
He's
bam,
falling, and then in the next page
beginning of
he's at
chapter
gyros.
3. Yeah,
And that's
well,
not even the chapter transition though. That page is in between chapter 2.
yeah, okay. Well, you saw another problem than me.
Oh, it's a lot more.
Yes. Oh, so they're falling out of the sky on that plane.
Yeah, and then that it's just a messy panel,
Oh,
I
I
think,
they land the plane at Gyro's house because they need to go there.
because you
And
can
they're
land a
talking to
plane at
Gyro,
gyro.
and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got the mirror and we got to have the constant." And they have that
Yeah.
discussion.
He's got the goober.
Yeah, right. The goober. Um, and then they open the mirror portal, and he goes through. But
Weeks
that
later.
between the end of that chapter and I guess chapter 3, assault on the all bin. It says weeks later. I don't know. I just felt that they jumped a little storytelling here. I guess you could. I mean, you could put together what happened. Like they went around the multiverse and gathered all the different versions of Scrooge to go fight, right,
Scrooge
or something
variants.
like that.
Hmm.
But I
I
guess I
didn't.
just would have liked to see that
That
happen
was
in the story.
too much. Yeah, that was too much assumption there, though.
Yeah, they skipped too much,
Yeah, and then
and then all
yeah,
of a
right here, I feel
sudden,
like I lost
yeah,
everything. Hmm.
I do like the idea of a bin full of bins.
Yeah, but where did those other
Stuff
Scrooges
like
come
that.
from?
Well,
They're just so
I
confusing, and then
That's what
this
I'm
whole
saying.
scene
I
is
I guess they
stupid.
went and rounded them up from all the other, like there's like a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure montage
But there was no indication at
where
any
they're.
point that he was traveling, other than the fact that it says a few weeks later, and
You're right.
then
Yeah, it was a big problem. It was a problem for
surprise.
me too.
Yeah.
I
Um.
actually kept flipping back, like, did I skip two
Yes.
pages
Yeah.
accidentally?
Are these things out of order?
That's what I felt,
Yeah.
kind of. Uh huh.
Yeah.
But no. But I mean, I was able to do the work myself. But why am I doing that work? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Well, the next page it does that too. When he introduces more of the variants,
Uh huh.
fight like Scrooges.
I like that. I
Like
like
a
the different
messy.
versions of Scrooge that they picked. The medieval
Uh-huh.
Scrooge, the Western Scrooge, the the turn of the
Young Scrooge.
century New York like scrapper,
Yeah.
newsy Scrooge.
The newsy Scrooge. Yeah.
Yeah, I and the future Scrooge is great. I like the different versions that they chose here to depict. And I would actually love to see an ongoing comic with these Scrooges. I think that would be super fun.
Yeah. Agree to
I
disagree.
I
Have it written by maybe somebody else.
well, okay, maybe, I mean, if they kept these multiverse Scrooge characters and went on with them to have some more adventures, I'd check it out for sure.
Oh, okay.
I'd be like, oh, that could be fun. I like this team.
Well, did you see the preview at the end of this for Donald Duck as Weapon
Oh,
X?
yes, I did.
That seemed more interesting to me.
But I mean, you're not upset that that's also just a cash grab? I mean, because it is.
Yeah, it is. It totally is.
Yeah.
It totally is. But it's in
But
the
it's
same vein as
Wolverine.
facsimiles.
Yeah. Okay. For sure. Also, it is literally under the "What If" title,
What if title? Yeah,
so it fits there.
where
You
this
know what I
should have been
mean? Kind
an
of.
original story.
Yeah. I really like the artwork in this
The
book,
art is
though.
great.
It's
Certain
wonderful.
chapters. This chapter it
Yeah.
is. I think there's one
This chapter is
chapter.
good. Chapter 3, whoever did
Yeah,
chapter 3 here is I'm loving it.
yeah. I think chapter 4 kind of slows down.
Okay.
There's
Yeah,
the
and then
Donalds, the
even
Berserkers.
I felt that coming, as soon as they're like, they were mentioning like,
He
oh,
gave
we
him a
got them coming
wrench.
in. You gave him a wrench and told him to work on their car before he got started, so they're all mad. I was like, oh shit, it's the Donalds coming, and I kind of got giddy here, and I turned
Uh-huh.
the page and I saw all the Donalds. I was like, hee hee hee, like
This is
I
Endgame
was,
though.
it is. It's
It's fucking
what's the
Endgame.
um on your left?
On your left, yeah.
It's totally an on your left moment, right?
Yeah.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
It's the Riders of Rohan,
Yeah, yeah. Riders
the
for
Horse
sure.
Lords coming to
Yeah,
Helm's Deep.
with
It's
Gandalf with the fucking
yeah.
staff out front. Yeah,
Yep.
which is effective.
Yeah.
It's effective to do that. Um, yeah. Anyway, this is so. Did we even explain like what's going on here?
No.
Can you give a quick gist? So
Okay.
like, and it helps. I'm glad that the opening of this comic is based on a classic old Karl Barks Scrooge comic,
Hmm.
which
Oh yeah.
is reprinted in this comic. You know, which is fun. Do you think that they should have put that one first?
No. I like
Do you,
the idea of having it behind the modern story.
if you had never read it, if you had read it first and then read this one, would you have been like, "Oh, this is cool. This is like you would have been knowledgeable about where they were taking this scene from and
I
that
think
it
I've been trained by comics to not do that.
mm, okay,
To read what's new first and then go work your way backwards.
yeah,
I've even read in both directions. When I was into Jeff Johns on Green Lantern, I was reading in both directions. I was reading new issues and I was going back to issue 1 trying to catch up to where I started because I jumped on at Sinestro War, which was like 25.
oh yeah, cool,
So I had to go backwards. And then with old DC, you had to go more than just the number 1 issue because a lot of it was happening in other titles. So I wormed my way through DC's history in the early 2000s
hmm. kind of like
while reading new books.
from both ends, like you were
Yeah,
fucking finger cuffing the Green Lantern.
the story, yeah. Ah, yeah.
Awesome,
So I guess, like, comics have trained me to kinda not register that until later.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I wasn't super familiar with this either, so
yeah.
I didn't recognize it at the beginning either. But it
It's
opens
sort of
with
Citizen Kane too,
oh yeah, it is kind of a little bit,
a little
but
bit.
it opens with Donald and the nephews heading up to Uncle Scrooge's cabin,
Mhm.
which actually is from an old Scrooge comic. That's the one that's in the backup here, which is what
Christmas on
Christmas
Bear
on Bear
Mountain.
Mountain.
Mhm.
This is the beginning of Christmas on Bear Mountain. This is the setup, but something changes here, and they're not very clear on what caused the rift in the multiverse. Right?
Other than just a generic throwaway magic excuse?
Yeah, it's like they're heading up, and Donald's saying, "Relax, I know where I'm going. We'll be eating high on the hog in no time, boys." And then
Huh.
there's a narrator caption. It was like, "It was meant to be a life-changing Christmas for Scrooge McDuck. His nephew
Mhm.
Donald should have visited Scrooge's cabin atop Bear Mountain, where Donald would have first proved his mettle to his miserly uncle." but it doesn't happen, and there's just like no reason at all.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't happen. They
It
they
doesn't
drove off a
happen and
cliff. They drove off a cliff and fucking died.
yeah.
I guess. Oops.
Oops. And then
Maybe
they
that's
cut
what they were implying. Like
this
that
was
in this
well,
in this
messy
in this universe, he's fucking dead or something.
it's messy storytelling.
Hmm.
It's messy and it's lazy storytelling because the next page, we're off to see Scrooge in his bin.
So yeah, so
And
this Scrooge, yeah, that we're introduced to in the very first page, goes off on a tangent universe. He decides that he's so mad that Donald didn't show up to his cabin, um, so he could trick him. Basically, he's so mad, I guess, which also doesn't make any sense if you think about it from how that actual Christmas on Bear Mountain comic plays out.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the only
Fucks him
reason
up.
he did it in that was to trick him, right?
Mhm.
And then at the end, he finally learns. Wait, does he learn a lesson at the end of that?
Yeah, he thinks Donald is so brave
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
and he
yeah.
proves his mettle by fighting the bear.
Yeah, he does prove his mettle. Um,
And they just
but
this is kind of a flat opening. It just doesn't go anywhere and it doesn't affect the story any.
is he just really mad because Donald didn't show up so he couldn't trick him and test his ability with this bear situation?
That's too much of an assumption for me as a reader though.
He's so mad
That's a
that he
big gap.
decides to hate everybody in life. He decides that what he needs, right, is all the money. He doesn't have enough, so he gets even more greedy and more hateful, right?
Yeah.
Mm. And then that branches off. What he ends up becoming is the Scrooge above all, or whatever.
Does he become that or
Yeah, he does.
oh, this is a Scrooge? You see,
See, so
sloppy storytelling.
yeah, so you
Sloppy.
don't. Maybe,
Oh,
yeah, because what's happening is this Scrooge in the very beginning gets shafted by Donald. So he gets so mad, and he's doesn't know what to do. He hates everybody. He's like, I've plundered everything, but there's still something missing. What is it that's missing? And you think that he's going to be like, oh, it's family or something like that. But no, he decides like, no, because he discovers this mirror in his vault when he's like sulking around his vault, and he got it from Magica.
mhm.
And then as soon as he looks at the mirror, he realizes that it's a portal into other dimensions where he sees a different version of a different dimensional version of himself in this mirror, and he sees more money to plunder in the other dimension. So he starts stealing from all the dimensions.
So he's like the Elon Musk of Duckburg
Yes,
in this reality.
precisely. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, so he says, "Oh, the hole in my heart is because I haven't got all the money yet.
Mm.
All the money is multi-dimensional. So I have to start traveling all the dimensions and getting all the other Scrooge's money." That's how this starts. So then as soon as you turn the page and you're looking at this plane, they're flying the plane and they're fighting the Beagle Boys. It's beginning of chapter 2, Lord of Dimes. That's now the Scrooge that we know and are familiar with. This is like Duckburg 616, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like 616.
Yeah, precisely. Now that's where we are.
There's a portal over
Well,
the
and it
moon.
even says there's a little caption that says years later and worlds away in a universe we all know well. Chapter 2.
Mhm.
So now we're introduced to, which we haven't seen yet in this comic, we're introduced to the Scrooge McDuck that we are all familiar with, right? He's not quite as much of an asshole.
But he's still only paying his nephews 30 cents an hour.
That's right. Yeah, but he's still a stingy fuck.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Where did the Beagle Boys come from? Are they just like variants of
There,
Beagle Boys that just have been helping?
well, there's always Beagle Boys, in Duckburg, right? They're the bad guys. Is that
Mm,
what you mean? Yeah.
no. I mean, what are they doing here? Not
Oh,
as in like where
I
they
think
come from.
we're just like introduced to them in the middle of some kind of adventure that they were on. Beagle Boys
Mm.
is trying to steal Scrooge's money.
So another assumption.
Yeah, another yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Now that's what I call an adventure, lads. It opens up. So like they had ended their adventure. I assumingly they're like on their way home with whatever treasure they found, and the Beagle Boys are now attacking their plane and trying to steal said treasure. But while they're flying around, they're coming up to Scrooge's mansion or whatever, and they see a portal open up in the sky, and his whole vault is being lifted into the portal by like these chains. The chains are kind of funny because they have like gloved
Hands.
hand grips on them. Kind of funny. And they're like, what's going on? Where'd the vault go? And that's where the story kind of gets started, right?
Yeah.
They decide to figure this out, go see. Oh no, the he shows up, the evil Scrooge.
The Scrooge above all.
Yeah, Scrooge above all shows up and says he's the best Scrooge, blah blah blah. He sees himself as a god, basically. Yeah. And then it's on.
So
Then they're then they gotta go figure out where this Scrooge above all came from, how he got all the vaults, and they want to go get his money back. Yep. I like that when they finally go to the Scrooge above all's actual his version of the universe, it's basically like fucking Back to the Future 2 when Biff gets the almanac.
oh, the big building.
I feel like as soon as I turn to this page, I hear Van Halen's
It's
Drive 55 start playing.
uh,
I can't drive 55. Bow, now, now, bow, now, bow, bow.
lock me up for 195.
And then he sees that he's this is where all the bins come, and oh actually he's been traveling to all these different universes. He's got all the Scrooge's bins. He's got a bin of bins, the all bin. Yeah, and that's it. Then they get it back.
Let me get it back.
I
Blah
don't think,
blah
do they
blah.
destroy this guy? Oh no, wait.
No,
No, they make him realize that
left in a
his
crater.
money is just pieces of silver. Do you think it's right that they have the Scrooge above all learn a lesson at the end, or should he have been like destroyed? It is a
Mm,
it is a Disney thing, I guess, right?
the Disney thing would have been for him to like attempt to save, but
But then they all have like a turkey dinner together at the end.
no, 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 no. The villain still dies in a Disney movie, but he dies of his own hand.
That's right, or and
While the
falling
hero
off a
tries to save.
cliff or something.
Falling off a cliff. Like he tried to, like he tried the hero, like Scrooge tries to save him, but then the Scrooge above all just hates him so much he's like stabs him in the hand
Yeah, and then
to spite
Scrooge
him.
can't hold on to pull him
Yeah,
up anymore and drops him.
yeah, that's the Disney ending. The Marvel ending would be this.
Hmm. But if they went off and did like Scrooge multiverse, I might pick up the issue that has Old West Scrooge.
Oh yeah, like Gunslinger Spawn.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
kind of.
most popular of the spawns. Gunslinger
I, I
Spawn.
might I might pick up the issue that has medieval knight Scrooge. That could be fun.
Oh,
I wonder if that's maybe where they're going to take this.
I hope not. And now that I've read this, I'm really not looking forward to Jason Aaron's run on the Ninja Turtles. It comes out in a couple
Oh
months.
yeah, you're right. You're
I
right.
forgot how bad it was. Like he's just so generic, and it's going to be another like fish out of water story with them wanting to fit in New York and bullshit that's already been rehashed. Where the original IDW run was really good with the brothers being separated at birth and stuff. What is this, the epilogue?
Yeah, the epilogue. I really like that last page spread. I think that's great artwork of all the Donalds and all
All the
the
Donalds. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and then if you look real close, there's like there's like one Daisy Duck standing there looking like, oh my god, that's a lot of Donald Dick.
Oh, I see that, Donald. Yeah,
Am
that's a
I gonna
lot of
get a
Donald
am I-
Cloaca.
I'm gonna get a fucking
Scissor
multiverse
that.
train ran on my
Yeah.
ass.
I want to scissor that. Scissor train.
Look at her face. You don't see any other multiverse Daisy Ducks. It's just the one that has to deal with all these Donalds. Real fun. Real fun.
Yeah. Cloaca.
Hmm.
Or cloaca is twitching.
I can't believe you know that term.
Hmm.
Anyway,
So
that
that
was
Donald
it.
cover
Wasn't
was really popular though. Like
I
you
had some
spot
I
that.
had some fun with it. I think I had a not I think I had as much fun as they intended me to have with it, maybe. Which was like,
Oh.
kind of, throwaway fun. It was fun for a minute while I was reading it, and then once I closed it, if you kind of forget about it and don't think too hard about it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I forgot about it and I
Um,
don't think about it and I still feel the way I felt.
so then, of course, the backup is the classic Christmas on Bear Mountain.
Christmas on Bear Mountain.
Does this make you want to read old Donald
No.
Duck comics? No, no. It feels very old fashioned,
Yeah. We're gonna
and it's yeah.
ride or eat high on the hog. I don't even know what that means. I'm assuming like the tenderloins back there, so like a
it's
backstrap or something.
it's old timey,
Oh,
antiquated,
yeah.
fucking. There's a lot of that in here, actually.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Check out the gams on that dame.
Uh huh. Unless we want to eat tripe.
Tripe. Oh, tripe is awesome, man. I was
Was
gonna,
tripe ever? Was tripe? Was there a point when tripe was like, what was it? The very cheap meat? Or is that?
yeah, like it was either thrown away or sold for like pennies on the dollar because
Oh,
it's
okay.
organ meat.
It's just intestine. Yeah.
Yeah, but now organ meat is fine dining.
But reading the first couple pages of this comic, I realized that, like, oh, the one I just read played on this. That's cool. I didn't know that. I thought that was kind of cool. That that
I
very
did
that
not.
very that
I
that
did
very
not.
first universe that we were introduced to, is this universe, is kind of
Maybe
this
if it
universe.
came full circle, but not in the way it's sitting now.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It
Right.
doesn't come full circle. It's just like he wedged it in the beginning, and they told Jason Aaron, like, "Look, you dude, you got like 5 weeks to write this out," and he did it like on the fifth,
Yeah,
fourth day at the midnight hour.
maybe. Yeah, you're right. There was no reason that it had to start with this setting, with this scenario.
Hmm.
No reason at all. It could have started with any scenario where Scrooge got mad at Donald.
And maybe it did, and that was like an
Any,
editorial decision to do it. But like,
maybe.
dude, have some scruples, Jason
Who
Aaron.
do you who do you think that's for? Like older people who older generation who actually read this when they were young?
With 13 different variant covers, I think they're pandering to collectors. And
Collectors.
I think the only people who are going to pick this up are people who were Disney files, or what do they call themselves?
Really? Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, because
I'm a
I
Duck
picked it up
fan.
off in the
I'm a
rack and
Duck
I didn't
fan
hate it.
more than a Disney fan.
Yeah. But those Disney fans were popular. They were active enough to buy all those Disney variants that they did a couple months back.
Hmm.
Marvel did.
Yeah.
But who knows? They're doing this with here. They're doing it on Planet of the Apes. They're doing it on Alien and Predator now.
So if the beginning of Infinity Dime did play out how it was supposed to, it would have been this story, Christmas on Bear Mountain. Basically, is
Yeah.
what you infer, at least. I'm sure you could find a couple inconsistencies there as well, probably if
Yeah.
you looked a little bit. But yeah, it's Donald and Huey and Dewey Louie. Um, Scrooge is a mean bastard in this. They talk. You know what else is funny? Is like the whole beginning. especially that Aaron intro page talks up about how much of an adventurer Scrooge is, right?
Hmm.
Why not show us an example of him going on an adventure, like some adventures somewhere? This is a poor example of a Scrooge going on an adventure,
The theme and the
you
opening
know?
credits to DuckTales even does that.
Yeah,
There are
yeah,
segments
right.
on there that weren't on the cartoons, they were specifically animated for the intro, and
Uh-huh.
it's of Scrooge McDuck having an adventure.
Absolutely. And in this
Um,
one, he's not having an adventure. He's just plotting a ruse for Donald Duck just to prove that he's a fucking turd,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he also doesn't wants to make sure that he's not giving him anything for Christmas. He's still very much Scrooge,
Mhm.
like Dickens' version of Scrooge. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's more like his namesake.
his namesake, yep. Yep.
Hmm. Um, but yeah, and this is a story that I feel like I've seen. This is also a story that I feel like I've seen a bunch, that they were doing
Where
this a lot in cartoons and stuff in the
oh,
yeah, there was definitely where they we're gonna dress as a bear, but oh no, there's a real bear.
oh, that's a yeah. That's a yeah, Looney Tunes, yeah, it's a
And
classic trope.
the person that dressed as a bear doesn't know that there's a real bear, so they find the real bear, and that's happened
Or the
so
mistaken
much.
identity where they find out that it's Bugs Bunny in a bear suit, and then an actual bear shows up and
That's
fucks up Elmer's hut.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And then the one person doesn't know that, the one character that's running away from the bear doesn't know that it's the one is actually, you know, Scrooge in a costume. So then they hit it with a frying pan or
yeah.
something.
Mhm,
I was just that's so much in cartoons. I could think of several off the top of my head probably that they did that exact gag.
mhm.
And Three Stooges and stuff like
Three
that,
Stooges,
you
yeah.
know. Uh-huh.
Probably
Laurel
Laurel
and
and
Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right, exactly. That's just like even by this time, did they say when this was originally published anywhere?
I didn't see it.
I don't either. Maybe in the very first page.
If he
Let's
I
see.
don't remember seeing a year and when he goes through his introduction or anything. I can Google that real quick.
Or on the back cover. Oh, here. Christmas on Bear
1947.
Mountain.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, 47. Yeah, I feel like that was that story idea, that gag idea was already happening a lot around this time
Mhm. Is there an animated version? No,
of this.
of this, yeah, but
Of
no, it's
Christmas
not.
on Bear Mountain? I don't think so. But Donald Duck has definitely had cartoons where this exact thing has happened. There's a monster that's actually on the loose, but then Huey, Dewey, and Louie decide that they're going to dress up as the monster to scare Uncle Donald, but then the real monster actually does show up. And now you've got Huey, Dewey, and Louie in a monster costume, and you've got the real monster, and Donald's stuck in between, and none of them know what's going on. This has happened a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but that's okay. And I don't, I then I don't know. Was it here first, or and then
Yeah.
in
Where'd that
cartoons?
trope come
No,
from?
because
Yeah.
I swear Stooges were probably doing it in like, oh, when was the bulk of Stooges anyway?
The 30s?
40s,
Are they the
30s.
40s? It had to be the 30s, the 20s and the 30s.
Uh, I I think 40s, but I'm not sure. So yeah,
There's that.
maybe even possible that
Uh-huh.
like some of those things actually took inspiration from this comic to do that gag. I don't
1934
know.
to 1946.
Okay. Hmm. I don't know.
They had 200 short subject films.
God damn. I love those classic Three Stooges film
Yeah.
film films. Wonderful. Anyway, news.
Little editors, a bunch of editors saying a bunch of nice things about Scrooge McDuck. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Senior editor, licensed publishing, vice president of publishing. All right, screw that. I don't care what these people have to say about it. Tell them to,
Well, yeah.
uh,
Executives, Disney Publishing Worldwide,
fuck you.
Vice President, Print
Fuck
and
you,
Digital Publishing.
David Gabriel.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here,
Fuck you, Mickey
Stefano
Bazzo.
Ambrosia,
Fuck you,
Danny.
Ambrosia.
Oh, associate editor. Mm,
Maybe not him so much.
Yeah, he's probably all right.
Like, we got shit. What if Donald Duck became Wolverine? Look at the marshmallows.
That's funny. I
I like the
like
one
that. And
panel
then,
on here with the Weapon X.
what if Donald Duck became Thor? I didn't see that solicit till I just read this, and I was like, oh, they're doing Thor too. That's
Yeah,
fun.
doing Thor too. So.
Yeah, I did not know that. I only knew about the Wolverine one.
They'll probably do a Hulk too. It's just too early because the solicits are only going as far as September right now.
Mm. Yeah, and then they give you a couple pages from it here, and then you see Mickey as Hawkeye, which is
Hawkeye,
pretty
yeah.
pretty funny. Just seeing that Mickey dressed as Hawkeye is pretty funny, and they're actually doing like the Weapon X stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Look
they've
at the
got
helmet.
Donald with the helmet, yeah, the
Him
helmet on, all
escaping out
corded
into the
up. He
forest.
escapes out into the snow. Yeah, right. Which I
Yeah.
didn't think that they were gonna do like literally, you know,
Have you
Weapon
read
X.
Weapon X? The Barry
Yeah.
Windsor Smith Weapon X?
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah.
so good.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I need to buy that collected
Collect it, yeah.
because I have it in all of the Marvel Comic Presents. Like I've got
Mm-hmm.
the 12
12.
issues or
Mm-hmm.
whatever of Marvel Comic Presents, and well, if you would decide that you want to sit down and read that whole story, but all you've got are the original Marvel Comic Presents, well, it's kind of a pain in the ass because
You're only reading like 4 to 6 pages, and then
yeah,
you
and
got
then
to
you
read
got to
like
get the
100.
next one out and find where it starts, and
Yeah,
it kind of sucks
kind of
actually.
sucks. Yeah.
It's not a good reading experience if you do it that way.
It is collected though.
Of course, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's if you want to sit down and read that all the way through, that's how to do it.
Yeah.
Just
It's
saying.
so good when you do that.
Yeah, right. But when you read a magazine like issue to issue, I don't
Then
know.
not so much.
It takes you out of it. It doesn't let you get so invested
Yeah, you'll
as you
build the
should.
momentum, and then here you
Hmm.
are 4 pages later, you gotta close it, go
It's
find the
done.
other book.
Yeah. Hmm. Which is cool. Well, whatever. Yeah.
That's comics.
That's it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Donald. That's it. Last
Donald,
page. I don't have a
Scrooge
back cover
McDuck,
here.
Jason Aaron. What do you guys think? If you
Screw.
agree, disagree, let us know at ganglangassembly@gmail.com.
Yes, that'd be great.
As
I want
usual.
to hear about it.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either. It
Just
just
me.
seemed very generic.
Hmm.
Especially for that price point, $7.99.
That's a good point. Now
Yeah.
that's something to bring up. Yes, if I had paid $7.99 for it, I would have been pretty upset.
Yeah.
I would have been pretty upset.
Yeah. It
Um,
was upsetting, to see that, the amount of pages they released, and then the quality of storytelling in said pages. It's not good.
mhm.
Not
Do
good.
they have like a Scrooge McDuck best of over the decades collection or
I'm
something?
sure IDW has probably published something like that.
Probably. I might pick something like that up if it was reasonably priced and there were maybe like a dozen of the best Scrooge stories, you know.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in reading that. And like you said, I'm sure that exists. So maybe I'll look for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is something to mention how important Scrooge McDuck is to comic books in general.
Nah, that was surprising.
Um,
That's the
it,
takeaway.
yeah, if you want to go look more into that, you should. And how much influence those comics have had on other creatives and stuff.
Mhm.
Pretty cool. That's that. What else?
I don't know. You wanna
Look at next week.
look at next week?
Mm. Oh, by the way, so the the other one that we were gonna do was the writer.
Dark Horse.
That's fine. I'm not. 'Cause- I has actually when I messaged you earlier and I was like, what was my pick? I forgot. And you were like the writer, and I thought, damn, I did pick that. The other night I was reading the books, and I couldn't remember. I remembered that we were doing Scrooge and I got that one, but I was like, man, what was the one that I said? And I was looking through the solicits, and I looked through the list like 5 times, and I'm like, yeah, what was it? Because I was like, man, as soon as I see it, I'm gonna remember, but I didn't,
Yeah.
which I think is like a testament to like how disinterested I actually was in that book.
Yeah.
Maybe
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Uh, so that's fine. But that was out this week, yeah. And then
Yeah.
okay,
Next week
so
there's a lot of releases, man. I don't even know what to
June
pick. Shit.
June 26th. Yeah,
Shit.
this week wasn't so great
No.
unless you were invested in some ongoing story that was like kind of finishing up. It seemed like there were a lot of like finishing arcs
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of the summer events still happening at Marvel, like Blood Hunt
Mm.
everything.
Oh yeah, yep. So now
But
let's see, 26th.
the big one I'm getting for next week is the Godzilla facsimile. The
Ooh, I
Marvel
like.
Godzilla King of the Monsters facsimile. They're doing a foil cover and all that kind of stuff. And I don't
They
normally buy
are.
these facsimiles, but I love that Godzilla story.
Ooh, Animal Pound number 4 is coming out.
Yep, I'm also getting that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
yeah, that one's exciting.
where is that? Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Oh
Yeah,
no,
there's
no.
3 Godzilla titles coming out. There's the facsimile, there's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Part 2, it's a sequel, and then there's, Sons of Gi Here Be Dragons 2: Sons of Giants, which is also a sequel story for Godzilla over at IDW. So
Oh,
a lot
here
of
it is.
Godzilla. I'm also getting stupid Rat City #3 because I can't stop reading that one. Jeez. I did read Creature from the Black Lagoon. I didn't read issue 2, but issue 1 was
It's
great.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, serial
yeah.
killer in the Amazon. Zatanna's a good one. She's one of my favorite DC characters, and that's a #1 issue.
Fucking ads, man. Get out of here.
Oh,
Yeah, Godzilla King of the Monsters facsimile. That's pretty sweet.
mhm.
This is fun.
Uh, this Something is Killing the Children 38 is a new story,
I
so
really
that
like
should be a
that.
good jumping on point.
I really like that Superman cover where his skin's
Oh,
kind of breaking up and
15?
revealing like greenish, kind of like
House of House
kryptonite
of
green
Brainiac.
underneath. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in that, but I like that
Uh,
cover.
the introduction of a character named the Brainiac Queen.
Brainiac Queen. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
who's gonna be a big part of the summer event at DC to Absolute Power.
I like Brainiac.
Absolute Power Ground Zero is a good starting point for their summer event too.
Yeah, Blood Hunt. mm, Department of Truth. Harley Quinn. King Spawn. X-Men 97. Is that comic doing well because the cartoon is doing so well?
Yeah, that comic is doing awesome. The second print of the
Hmm.
first issue is like a $40 comic now, or it's a $30
Holy
comic, something
shit!
like that.
Are
Second
people
print.
enjoying it as much as they're enjoying that cartoon?
Well, Marvel is doing what they did with the Mandalorian in the comics. They're just adapting the show,
Hmm.
so it's
Oh, they
nothing.
are. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's nothing really to write home about.
Oh. Hmm.
What you need some recommendations or anything? I already got what
X-Men,
I'm
Blood
getting.
Hunt. You say Godzilla
I'm doing
facsimile?
Godzilla. Yeah, I'm doing the Godzilla facsimile because that's a good story and I need it.
Creature. Oh, they're on issue 3 from that
Creatures on
creature.
issue 3. Yeah. Yeah.
Feral. There's a new blue book coming out. That's fun.
Issue 5 of the Area 51 story.
I would like to check out that American Psycho. Like maybe once it gets collected, I'd like
Yeah.
to pick that up and see what that's all about.
A lot of these shop owners like that book, but it is just the adaptation. I mean,
Is it
that's yeah, that's
is it
fucking
adapting? It's adapting the novel, or is it
no,
ongoing?
it's adapting the movie.
Really?
So I mean, yeah, that's what's his name? Look at him.
Yeah,
That's
I know. I know. Yeah, I know. But I thought that they were. I just assumed that it was like ongoing or something.
let's see. I thought it
Hmm.
was adapting them. When I'd asked whether it was the novel or the movie, I think I read somewhere that they were adapting the movie.
I don't know because Donald Kimball finally shows Patrick just how alike they are. Now Patrick must decide if he embraces the monster inside of Donald or will he reject what Donald has become. I
Huh,
don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and I
no
saw
no
that
idea.
movie.
I only saw it once, so I don't know.
As soon as you said a straight up adaptation, because we go through these things a bit for movies as comics, and they just don't do that as much these days.
They have been. The Basic Instinct is one that's ongoing right now. That's an adaptation of that movie.
That is really
Yeah, here I found the solicitation for American Psycho 1. It says Greg Staples, best known for his work on Judge Dredd and a concept artist for Magic the Gathering, brings his realistic paintery style to the likeness of Christian Bale's Patrick Bateman.
likeness.
Yeah. This limited series also begins the journey of an all new psychopath, a social media obsessed millennial Charlie Carruthers goes on a downward spiral filled with violence, drug fueled partying leads to bloodshed as
And
Charlie leaves a trail of bodies on his way to discover the truth about his dark nature.
social media wasn't even a thing in American
Witness the
Psycho.
journey. Yeah,
It's some kind of new story with
it's
the
a new
same
story.
character.
Hmm.
Yeah,
With Christian Bale as
with
Patrick Bateman.
actual Christian Bale. Yeah, I'm
So they did
surprised
they
that they
have to
got
pay
his
for his?
likeness rights.
They have to pay
Oh,
for that, right?
I would assume you can't get away with this.
Ooh, the reviews there are not kind to this series at all.
Oh,
Wow, lacks dialogue. There is no there are no positives.
I guess it gets delayed a lot. People
It
are
gets
are
delayed a
complaining
lot,
about
yeah.
delays. Oh
I
no.
must be getting soft in my older age. My eyes would gloss over comics like this while browsing the walls looking for new things to pick up. But here we are in 2023 and I'm buying 007 Godzilla Aliens Predator every month.
Dude, I feel you. I feel you,
It's good, it's not great. That's
guy.
what ended up being.
Okay. That's what I would
Yeah.
expect is good, but not great. If it were great, we would have heard about it by
Yeah,
now.
we would have heard about that. We would have heard about this Army of Darkness Forever being great too, and I haven't heard squat about that one.
You never really hear. They put out so much Army of Darkness stuff. You never really hear too much about
Yeah,
it.
that's all Dynamite and their Dynamite and Boom and all their licensed properties.
Hmm. Well, Negaduck. We could stick in the duck universe
There you go. You like that a lot.
a lot.
A
I
lot.
love it. I love it.
I
There's
read
a
Red
there's
Coat. Red Coat is good. Jeff
there's a
Johns.
Ghostbusters comic going on, Dark Horse,
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Okay, that's neat.
The G.I. Joe book
That's
is good because I picked up issue 301, I think. That was really good.
I think Ghostbusters. The problem with me is like with Ghostbusters these days, everyone's focusing on things like the outfits, the car, proton pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
References, the look. But what they're
This is
missing is like the fact that like really all it was like Bill Murray, Hal Ramis, and Dan Aykroyd just being fucking funny,
just being, yeah, ridiculously funny with
and
a story in the backdrop.
you don't have that. Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
what are you left with? Just like the shell. like this
I
costume, basically.
I think this is a final issue.
Everything Ghostbusters is just
Oh, yeah,
feels just like fanfic.
fanfic. Yeah, this is definitely up that alley too because it's the same little weirdos like the Spangler
Yeah,
children,
yeah.
Paul Rudd.
It's all so fanfic, and what I mean by fanfic is like a lot of that fanfic. Those people miss the goddamn point,
Uh-huh.
and they're always only looking at like exterior, and they're so surface, and that's what Ghostbusters feels like to me these days.
Yeah,
Sonic the Hedgehog Spring Broken #1.
that's about to
I've
be a
never
big
read
one.
a Sonic the Hedgehog comic.
I haven't either. It's that licensed stuff. There when there's something like the Principles of Necromancy coming out at the same time as a Sonic book, I'm gonna pick up the one with the with the whatever bloody body is doing here.
Hey, what is this? Zenoscope Pooh versus Bambi #3. Is
Oh,
that
that Zenoscope sucks.
is that Dear Editor
What? Where? What? Where?
on this cover?
On the Pooh Demon Hunter?
Yeah,
Oh no, I'm up.
yeah.
Pooh Demon Hunter?
Pooh versus
Oh no,
Bambi #3.
I didn't probably didn't scroll down that far.
Look at this. Look at the screen. I got it
Oh,
here.
look at the screen. There they go. Oh, is that Deer Editor?
That's what I said.
That's fucking Deer Editor.
Are
Who
they even the
published this
no
crap?
Dear? No, someone like what did it say? Zenoscope. What
Zenoscope.
was
Oh yeah.
what was Dear Editor? Was that
No,
Boom
it
as
was
well?
Mad Cave, I think,
Oh, that
or Black
sounds right.
Mask. One of those.
Yeah. Huh. Or is this just
Deer Editor.
coincidence that someone drew like a suited guy with just a deer head? I don't
I
know.
don't know. You have to buy the
Whatever.
comic and find out for 3.99 is not bad.
Okay. Let's
Ooh,
come
the
down
Ultimate
to it.
#1 second print. You know what? Now that all these second and third prints of these Ultimate comics are out, I highly suggest that Spider-Man title.
Which one?
Ultimate
Oh,
Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Is it coming out? I don't see one here. They're like
Or
in
I'll
like the
do
13th print or something.
Garbage Pail Kids trashing through time #5.
We're not gonna find that. I can guarantee you
Damn.
we're not gonna find that. That is gonna be nowhere to be found. Department of Truth 23 is a new storyline. They
Oh,
go
really?
into the JFK murders. It's like a little conspiracy thing with JFK murders. It's really cool.
Yeah. Wow, there is a lot coming out next week.
Yeah.
Gun Hand, World of Archie, Facsimile.
I
Oh,
think you're too far down.
they did new covers for the Godzilla King of Monsters facsimile.
There's
They
that
have
1 in 25 by
they have
Bagley.
cover
Yeah.
variants. Bagley. Oh, I see.
East of West is good. That's a Jonathan Hickman. I have like the
I like
first 4
Jonathan
issues of
Hickman.
that. They were really good.
Oh, this is an Image First.
It's an Image First reprint. Yeah.
You can go buy that for $1, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Tech Noir #1. I always am interested in these shitty super indie books.
And then yeah, we'll get like one of them for every 4 that you pick. We'll find like one of them maybe.
Dynamite Diva, the Engine Whisperers.
Oh, that sounds like gold.
Quested. Is this a Legend of Zelda thing? Oh, they have Legend of Zelda homage covers.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Giant sized
Okay.
little marvels. That's a Scotty Young thing.
I saw that.
Saw
I
that.
saw that. Yeah, that kind of looks fun. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want fun. I just dealt with fun. Cartoony fun.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
A Stu Creature from the Black Lagoon lives. I mean, we've already read issue 1.
Okay, I'm on board with that.
right? Just pick that one up.
Yeah. Well, that's number 3, but I'll have to also find number 2.
I have to find number 2 as well.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be hard.
Yeah. We could do Union Jack the Ripper Blood Hunt number 2.
Oh, nice. You know what? I don't, maybe not. I'm not gonna do the Godzilla.
What? Okay.
I want to do the Zatanna.
Ooh.
Zatanna, bring down the house number 1. What about you?
Absolute Power Ground Zero number 1. That's some kind of spin-off.
That's the prep for the summer DC event book where 3 characters depower or like just negate a bunch of superheroes, and so like a depowered Superman and Wonder Woman have to stop everything.
Hmm.
It's um yeah, it's what they're pushing. That's what they're pushing in Superman titles right now. It's got Brainiac Queen in it. It's gonna have Failsafe, who's like the AI, the Batman AI that turns evil. And then it's got, of course, Amanda Waller, because James Gunn is pushing for Amanda Waller like crazy. And dude, it's written by some top tier talent here: Mark Waid, Chip Zdarsky, Joshua Williamson, Dan Mora is the artist.
Hmm. Oh, Joshua Williamson is the writer of this Superman 15 that I'm looking at.
Uh,
Oh, House of Brainiac, number 6 in the House of Brainiac story arc. What else do I have to buy to get that whole thing?
all
I
that
don't
House of
know.
Brainiac stuff was all. I think that was spread out through
Oh,
all the Superman titles, wasn't it?
oh, I see. When I look closer, yeah, it seems to be because it's got like a special triangle number at the top.
Oh, cool.
Now, like look closer at the cover, it's Matrix code.
Oh yeah, it is Matrix Code. Yeah, Brainiac Queen. There you go.
Okay.
We could jump in.
Shit, man. It doesn't say exactly. If this was a self-contained story arc within just the title
It's number
Superman,
12 of 13 right there. See House of Brainiac event?
what's the Triangle 6 all about then?
Um,
What do these things mean?
I
What
don't
do these
know, but
numbers
down
mean?
there on that banner, click on the banner and find out.
The banner?
Yeah, there's a banner at that midway point at the fold there that says House of Brainiac event core issue 12 of 13.
Oh, I see. 12 of 13 issues. Oh, you can see the whole thing here. Okay.
Yeah, it starts in
Started
Action
in
Comics. Yeah.
Action 1064. It came out in beginning of April.
It came into a bunch of different titles. That Green Lantern title I'm reading right now. I'm on like issue 5 or 6. It's really good.
Oh,
I'm a Green Lantern fan.
so on the 25th, there are 3 super titles coming out that finish off this story arc. So if you want parts 11, 12, and 13, you got to get this coming week. You have to get Action Comics 1066, Superman 15, and Power
Uh-huh.
Girl 10.
Uh-huh. Even though
Fuck
there's
that.
no indication on Power Girl 10 that it's taking place in this storyline because it doesn't have a banner. Same thing
It's
with
weird.
the Green Lantern. Yeah, it sucks. DC, what are you doing, DC? Didn't you
Oh,
learn this from?
it's a tie-in. Some of these, so you see, some of these are
Oh, it says
tie-ins and some
tie-in
are
and core
core
issue.
issue. So okay,
Yeah,
so
I see it.
this triangle 6 means that it's the 6th part of core issue stories.
We should just do a
Fuck,
whole
holy
episode on these
shit, man.
different Action Comics. Let's do this whole storyline.
Okay,
You want to do this whole storyline?
fuck yeah,
Just
I
read
do.
everything up to it.
I'm down.
All right, let's do
Let's do
that.
it.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Okay.
shit. Wait,
Awesome.
how did you just talk me into that?
I don't know. It was super easy though.
Fuck. Okay, you better end
House
it quick
of
before I change my mind.
Brainiac. And in that, read your comics, folks. We're going to be reading House of Brainiac all the way through
That's
to
right.
the current issues that are coming out next week. In a
Crazy.
full deep dive analysis. It's probably going to be an extra long episode too, I hope.
Okay, that's what we're doing. Combined
That's what
with
we're
our
doing.
efforts combined, we will
You know,
get through these 12. Are we the tie-ins you said and everything,
sure.
or just core tie-ins? Fuck
Just
it.
do core. Well, we'll see. Because I'm already reading some of those times with the Green Lantern anyway.
There you go. There you go. Okay, fuck. It's sealed then. That's what we're doing. Till then. See you later. Read your
Awesome. Bye,
comics.
everybody. Read your
Bye.
comics. Bye.